Whew. Well, the 2020 NFL Draft has came and gone, and we're gonna get fast and heavy into some analysis, post-draft analysis tonight. Though it's been a long night, I'm gonna give out my full Philadelphia Eagle grades for every pick that they made, and I think tomorrow there'll be probably a couple videos that come out tomorrow. Definitely one that'll be the best and worst picks for all 32 teams. We'll go through that. But yeah, Eagles job. I'm happy with day 3. I can say that. I'm happy with day 3, but it's a whole process here, and it was a very, very weird draft for the Philadelphia Eagles. We'll start. We might as well just, there's no other way to beat around the bush. We're going to start here. Let's get right into it. At pick 21 of the first round, we selected wide receiver Jalen Reagor at a TCU, 5'10", 205 pounds. Coming in, he was the guy that all day I was like, I don't want him. At 21. I actually had, I think, one of my mock drafts that I threw up on Twitter the day before the draft, I had Jalen Reagor in the second round. So he's not a player that I just wanted the Philadelphia Eagles to avoid like a plague. I just didn't think the value was there at 21. And then you'd see murmurs like his dad had ties to the Eagles, played for the Eagles, was like an interim coach. I was like, that's going to cloud this team's goddamn judgment, and they're going to find a way to get Jalen Reagor. And they did. He was, in the mix for like my wide receiver 6, wide receiver 7. I had a second round grade on him. But he's here now, and I mean, he does bring speed. He's faster than the 4.47 that he ran at the combine. He's an outside wide receiver. He's aggressive with the ball in the air. He's really good with the ball in his hands, yards after catch. The negatives are really the drops are a concern. He essentially, for me as a prospect, is like a faster Nelson Agholor, but like 2017 Nelson Agholor. So to give benefit of the doubt, he's a faster 2017 Nelson Agholor. Do I see him being the next All-Pro, the next big deep threat in the NFL? Yeah, I don't see that right now. But again, when you look at anything he did at TCU, he never had a great quarterback. Even though he was in the Big 12, never had a great quarterback. So it's a mystery. And again, that's just like more added pressure. Like, why are we getting a guy with the big question marks here at wide receiver? And another negative for the Jalen Reagor selection is obviously the CeeDee Lamb thing, where CeeDee Lamb was falling to Dallas. There's multiple reports from the media, from I think it was Jerry Jones himself, saying Atlanta wanted to trade back. You know that was Philadelphia. You know Atlanta probably want that second round pick, if not the third round pick, but probably the second round pick, which we will definitely get to. But if you're telling me right now, let's just to hypothesize this, would you if you told me right now Philly could have traded pick 21 and the second round selection to get CeeDee Lamb, would I rather CeeDee Lamb or Jalen Reagor and Jalen Hurts? I think 99.9% of Eagle fans would have the very same answer. But now we're looking at the Jalen Reagor pick. Again, I think outside of the value thing, which is, I don't think we got great value here at pick 21. I'm giving it a B-. That was the grade I gave it on draft night. It's a grade I'm sticking with it right now. It's not a bad pick. He's an outside speedy wide receiver. The only reason why it's not higher than a B- is just the drops. You have drops in college. How many times are guys that have drops in college don't carry that issue over to the NFL, Drops are something that kind of stick with you, but I will give him the benefit of the doubt that the TCU quarterback play was so bad that maybe the drops can be corrected with him. It's still a B-. It's not a brutal pick. It's just not a home run pick either. Going to the second round at pick 21, a pick that ruined my YouTube live stream. I was going to stream on YouTube for rounds 2 and 3 of the draft. I had to duck out after the second round because I was so demoralized with this selection. At pick 21, the Philadelphia Eagles selected quarterback Jalen Hurts out of Oklahoma, 6'1", 220 pounds. Now, we need to, before we get into the pros and minuses and we try to analyze this from a football standpoint, personally, I had Jalen Hurts as a 4th round quarterback. Developmental option. I thought if you went to a team like New Orleans, it could make sense. He could develop behind Drew Brees, and if he can finally put it all together as a passer. Also, he has that Taysom Hill ability, that if Taysom Hill for the New Orleans Saints bounces in free agency, he's a guy that can come in and fill in that package. Now, when you're looking at that second round, this was such a bad pick in terms of value. It's a bad pick for the Eagles for positional sake. It's a bad pick for value. There's no redeeming qualities to this, and there's never going to be any redeeming qualities to this pick until we can look back upon it. You know what I'm saying? Like with Jalen Reagor, Any pick, right? Any pick that you talk about in the draft, you could say that it applies. This what I'm going to say applies to any pick. Is that give me 3 years and we'll look back upon it if it's a good or bad pick. But you can't even see any value in this Jalen Hurts pick until 3 to 4 years from now. You use the second round to get guys that can help your team. You get a backup quarterback in the second round when your quarterback is over the age of 32. You get a backup quarterback in the second round if you're a team that literally is complete from top to bottom, and this is your, luxury pick, if you will. You're like, oh, we don't need anything. Might as well get a good backup quarterback. This pick is bad. We're going to be harsh on this pick because it deserves to be harsh, but we will try to find some positives in it as a football. He's an insurance policy for Carson Wentz. You could argue that if we had a really good mobile upside quarterback too, we would have beat probably Seattle last year in the playoffs, right? A backup quarterback won Philadelphia Super Bowl, right? He's a mobile quarterback too. I think in today's NFL, if Wentz goes out due to injury, I think if you bring in a mobile quarterback, that's more of a positive. That's going to cause more trouble for a defense than if you just have someone like Josh McCown that's going to try to orchestrate the same offense. A guy like Jalen Hurts, if he has to come into the game for injury of Carson Wentz, it's going to be difficult for the opposing teams to flip the script on how they're going to stop the Philadelphia Eagles offense. And also, you do get the Taysom Hill option, which does work for New Orleans a little bit. Another positive is the trade value. The quarterback factory, which is definitely going to become a meme amongst the Eagle fans. Howie Rose was saying, we're viewing ourselves as a quarterback factory. It's like, okay, but you don't spend a second-round pick on a developmental quarterback. Now there's an outside chance what if college football is canceled and then there's so much uncertainty about all those quarterbacks, the Justin Fields, the Trevor Lawrences, Trey Lance, North Dakota State if there's some question marks, maybe instantly we could flip Jalen Hurts for a pick better than 53 next year because a team that needs a quarterback, so you're like, all right, Jalen Hurts is a year in the NFL, a year in the training camp. I'll feel more comfortable getting Jalen Hurts with a late first round pick. Something like teams could do that. Maybe you gotta remember this is the Eagles team that got insane value for Sam Bradford, value that no one thought was possible. Getting a first round pick and a fourth round pick, I think it was, for Sam Bradford. But outside of those positives, this is awful value. Quarterback twos are day 3 picks. Jalen Hurts will forever be known as picked over Denzel Mims, picked over Christian Fulton, picked over A.J. Epineza, picked over any linebacker that have a realistic chance at starting for the Eagles. Willie Gay out of Mississippi State, Logan Wilson from Wyoming. Those guys all gone, and we took Jalen Hurts, a backup quarterback. So it's always going to be anyone that was picked around Jalen Hurts that was a position of need, we're always going to be able to compare. Like if Mims goes for 1,000 yards, we're going to go, oh, great, we got a backup quarterback. Christian Fulton actually turns it around and gets a couple picks for the Titans. We're going to, oh, great, yeah. Now we still got, Jalen Mills getting burned, and we still got Sidney Jones getting burned. Or Epineza comes on 6, 7, 8 sacks, somewhere in that territory, gets more sacks than Brandon Graham. We're going to be like, oh, great, yeah, we got this. So, and then I would also argue that Jalen Hurts is more of a project than the other 2 big quarterbacks that were here for the developmental group in Jacob Eason and Jake Fromm. Hurts does not have elite arm strength, does not have elite arm traits right now. Those things don't grow on trees. Some quarterbacks never refine those. So I'm giving this an F+. The only reason why it's not a straight F is because I do, in a weird, undeserving, but slightly deserving way, trust that Philly has a legit plan for this. This is such a ridiculous pick for a team that is generally as well ran as the Philadelphia Eagles that I'm going to give it a plus because they do deserve slight benefit of the doubt. That aura, the smell of the Super Bowl is still slightly on this front office that they can get a little bit of benefit of the doubt here. But it's still an F at the end of the day. Going to the third round to pick 39, we selected linebacker Davion Taylor from Colorado, 6 feet tall, 230 pounds. Speedy linebacker, ran a 4.49 at the combine, 4.39 at his pro day with very high ceiling. I think he has a very high ceiling. Look at his tape, man. He explodes on the ball. However, he's a project player. He won't realistically compete for a linebacker job this year, and he's going to be a special teamer. So I'd argue at the third round, that is not great value for a team in Philadelphia that we do not have one legit linebacker on this roster. One day, one starter that's like, yes, that's a good linebacker. We have a lot of uncertainty. You got Nate Gary, Jatavis Brown, TJ Edwards, Alex Singh. Like, there is just... We needed a guy in the second. We honestly needed, someone that had a high ceiling to maybe be the next legit 3-down backer. I don't know, man. Davian Taylor could be that, but he's not going to be that next season. There's a lot. He's essentially the linebacker version of like a Jordan Mailata. He's an athlete that's still learning to play football. And while the athletic ceiling is very intriguing, third round, I think it was not great value. So I'm going to give it a C, a base C grade. The positional value made sense because we needed a linebacker. He's very athletic. But in the third round, getting a guy that might, a guy that we have to trust and develop. Jim Schwartz has not developed anyone on the defensive side of the ball. I would argue that. So good luck. That's a C. Fourth round, pick 21. We got safety Kavon Wallace from Clemson, 5'11", 205. Good athlete, 4'5", in the 40, 38-inch vertical. Versatile defensive back. High football IQ. The only real negative with him is I think his ceiling might not be the highest. I think he's pretty close to a finished product. Either way, this is a very good pick for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm giving it a B+. It's probably my favorite pick. It's probably my favorite pick. It's not the highest grade. We got some high grades on day 3. But in terms of like where we drafted him, the impact I think he could bring to the team next year, I think Kavon Wallace in the 4th round might be my favorite pick for this Eagles draft. I'm giving it a B+. Another 4th round pick at 39. In the 4th round, we got lineman Jack Driscoll from Auburn, 6'4", 305, smart athletic blocker. I really did like his tape, honestly. When I talked about him, I compared him to another guy that actually landed on Eagles, and I said, in the limited games that I did watch, I'm not sitting here, I got other stuff I got to do. I'm not sitting here watching line tape, but in the 2 games I watched Auburn play last year, Driscoll stood out to me more than the morally high-regarded Tay Prince. So I did like Jack Driscoll as a swing tackle. But definitely needs to get stronger, and I'm not sure where Philly views him on the depth chart, which is when you have more questions. Like some people are saying he could be center, could move into guard, but he's not strong to play guard, and he's not long enough to play tackle. It's a weird pick. While I like the prospect, it's a weird pick for Philadelphia, but I'm still gonna give it a C+ because I do like the player. 5th round at pick 23, we got wide receiver John Hightower from Boise State, 6'1", 190. Speedy outside wide receiver, 4'3", 38.5-inch vertical. Good athlete, but he did have drop issues. Not to Nelson Aguilar's extent, because this guy can actually track the deep ball, but he's kind of one-dimensional as a deep threat. You're not going to want him running intermediate routes or anything crazy like that, limited route tree, but he's an explosive athlete, a legit deep threat in this draft class, one of the better deep threats that were available on day 3, so I'm going to give this just a solid B grade. Going to the 6th round, at pick 17 in the 6th round, we got linebacker Sean Bradley from Temple, 6 feet tall, 235 pounds. I did think this was a guy we were going to get, but as a UDFA, not actually drafting him, but he's a local kid from Temple. Good athlete, 4'5", he's a converted defensive back. He's Nate Gary, though. At the end of the day, he misses a lot of tackles, struggles to get up blocks, high character, converted DB. He's Nate Gary. I'm giving it a C. I'm not happy with the linebackers that we got in this draft. And that's still saying Davion Taylor, I had him in one of my Eagles mock drafts, just going in, I think I had him in the 5th round, not the 3rd round. So, finishing up here, we got two more 6th rounders and a 7th rounder. In the 6th round at pick 21, we got wide receiver Quez Watkins from Southern Miss, 6 feet tall, 185 pounds. Burner, 4.35. Last 2 years, he's been a first-team Central USA. He has proven production. His route running is limited. He's again, kind of like Hightower. You got to want him to run just fast in a straight line and get open. Beat man coverage, and hope to God not a lot of teams lock you up in zone because you're not very physical. But I really do like this selection. Quez Watkins was a guy that I was kind of more preparing for him to stay in school and come out next year as a potential mid-round pick. But getting him in the 6th round, I will say right now, I'm giving this a B+, and I'm getting Darius Slayton vibes. I'm getting the same kind of vibes that we got for Quez Watkins that I said when I was grading the Giants last year, selecting Darius Slayton, who you might remember him, torched us pretty much every game he played us, but that first game against the Giants in particular, absolutely torched us. And is looking like a legit wide receiver for the Giants to build around. I'm getting similar vibes here with Quez Watkins in the 6th round. I'm giving that a B+. I really like that move, and I slightly like that move, and I slightly like Quez Watkins more than Hightower. But either way, adding speed with Watkins and Hightower, I'm all for it. And obviously, Reagor. Going to the next 6th round pick at pick 31, we got tackle Prince OT from Auburn, 6'5", 310, an athletic tackle with a high ceiling. Pretty much consensus. Had a 2nd, 3rd round grade on him, so he's kind of getting that Jalen Mills value. Remember when we got Jalen Mills, safety out of LSU? Now he's back to safety. Finally, they've been listening to me. But when we got Mills was considered 2nd, 3rd, 4th round pick. Same with OT, but apparently he has knee issues. It's not a character reason like what was with Jalen Mills. I'm giving this an A- on value alone. I think this guy, Tay Prince, we have no more swing tackle. We lost Big V. I think Tay Prince, if he's healthy, could be a chance to start for our swing tackle, which is very valuable to Philadelphia Eagles. If not higher. Very high season. This is an A-. And the finish of the draft in the 7th round of pick 19, we got defensive end Casey Toole from Stanford, 6'4", 250, an elite athlete, a 9.7 on the RAS. If you don't know what the RAS scores are, go look them up. Very good. Pretty much is elite in every category outside of just strength and to put up particularly strong bench press numbers. But he's a great developmental edge rusher with a very high athletic ceiling. I like him. I like him more than I like the Shreve Miller pick last year. So even though a lot of people thought he would be more so pigeonholed in a 3-4 outside linebacker role because that's what he played at Stanford, I like the athletic profile here, and that's the kind of prospects you get in the 7th round. Guys that you can't teach their athletic ability, and you hope that you can refine their technical side, which, I'm fine with that. I am fine with that. And we are now sitting here. UDFAs are starting to fly off the board. We got Oregon State tight end. I can't remember his name. That's the only one we've got. But I have some UDFAs that I haven't updated my list, but guys that I definitely would take a look at. Tavian Feaster, James Robinson, or Mike Warren at running back. A little bit more power option to come in and compete with Elijah Holyfield. Josh Pearson at wide receiver. We got Trey Adams at tackle. Darrell Williams at center. Bryce Huff, Oluwe Butiku Jr. at defensive end. Malcolm Roach at inside D lineman. David Woodward or Joe Bocci at linebacker. Javaris Davis, Parnell Motley at corner. Mark Anthony Dequoy, Canadian elite athlete safety. Could be a great flyer. But my number one player I want is Madre Harper, Southern Illinois corner. I think the athletic profile, the developmental, I think it's just insanely high. He's an elite athlete. And that's kind of what I like to go and look for in my UDFAs. Guys that are just, you can't teach the athletic stuff. Hopefully you bring them in. You could get them to catch on from a technical standpoint. So those are just some of my UDFAs, but those are my grades here for the Philadelphia Eagles. If you take up all the grades, that Tay Prince A- definitely helps out. They get a C+ for this draft. I think they did finish out day 3 pretty well. I argue the value of our 3rd, 2nd, and 1st round picks and the Jalen Hurts pick. I mean, I don't know. Unless they're playing chess, I don't see it. But, hey, Carson Wentz goes down week 14 next season. Jalen Hurts comes in and wins us some games. Who's going to be laughing now, It's going to be Howie. So, let me know how you guys feel about the Eagles picks in the comment section below. We'll be back tomorrow we'll go through all 32 teams drafts. We'll kind of throw out some grades, talk about the best and worst picks. But I'm pretty much burnt out for today. So thank you guys for watching. As always, your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button, smash the like button if you enjoyed. And until next time, it's C4 saying peace out.